Okay, so welcome everybody to a discussion and topic which I hope will be inspiring and thought-provoking. And also, if anybody feels like a student in how you're sitting in the classroom, this is not about teaching you anything. So don't feel like a student. What we're hoping to achieve in this panel discussion is sustainable luxury, but how it relates to looking at both sustainability and luxury in a more wide-focused way. So before I pass you on to the panelists, I'll just kind of give a brief overview of the direction of where we hope to go with the conversation. Sustainable and luxury, or sustainable luxury. Is it contradiction or is it complementary? When it comes to the experience, does it compromise or does it enhance the guest experience? And these are the two single biggest questions and two single biggest conversation topics over the years that people have been asking. How is it possible that anything sustainable can be luxury? In many cases, in most cases, when something is referred to as sustainable, it's almost the opposite. It's perceived as lower quality, less experiential enhancing, when in fact it's the exact opposite. And what we're going to be hearing from today is from three people, each one with different experiences on looking at sustainable luxury, but also looking at luxury not just from the angle of 5 stars, because the days of looking at luxury from a 5-star perspective is, I would say, passé. Instead, it's more about 1 million stars. It's not just by how your destination or accommodation is classified, but more so under the 1 million stars in the outdoors. So we have here 3 panelists, one representing a destination, one representing, I would say, a heritage luxury farm or village restored, and one representing an accommodation. There was somebody else who couldn't make it because of the flights were cancelled because of the snow in London. So I'm going to first start off with Paolo. And Paolo is the CEO of San Vigilio Dolomite. It's a tourism destination in the middle of the Italian Alps and part of the Dolomites, which is the World Heritage. And what we're also going to be looking at is how sustainable luxury looks at not just the environmental aspect of sustainability, but how sustainable relates to people, planet, and profit. So over to you, Paolo.
Okay, now it's working. Hola, Sevilla, thank you very much for the hospitality. It's a big honor to me to be here, to be invited as a very small destination in the Northern Alps in Italy. It's a very beautiful place. As you can see, these are our mountains, which are very special from many points of view. Since 1 year now, we are certified by Vigilio, GSTC, and this changed a lot in our way of thinking and of handling the sustainability. Can you? Okay. I will first introduce a little bit who we are, just in order to try to explain you how we see in our area what is the luxury from our point of view. This is not something you have to learn. It is our experience. So I will try to explain you this. So, maybe, where should I point it? Ecco, thank you. So as you can see, this is our village. We have 2 villages. This is San Vigilio. It is in the middle of the mountains. When I started here, it was minus 15 degrees, so you can imagine I'm suffering. It's too warm for me in Sevilla, but I try to enjoy it anyways, because when I come back, they told me already it is minus 17. And we have two seasons. It's the winter season and the summer season. The average days people stay nowadays in our destination is only 5 days. In the past, still a few years ago, they stayed until 20 days. So now you can see that the people don't have anymore so much time. So it's even more important to make their stay as comfortable as possible. So we are an institution which is a private organization made of 197 hotels, 130 apartment houses, 90 farmhouses, and 25 bed and breakfast. And we generate about 850,000 overnights each year. So we are not only this, we have also restaurants, handcrafters, shops, services, ski schools, bike schools, and so on. And we try to organize the town and the landscape. Let me see. So as for luxury, I was thinking the last days, what is luxury in from our point of view? So one and the most important is the nature. We have a very beautiful nature, which since about 10 years, since 2009, is declared UNESCO World Heritage. And we have 2 nature parks, which is something very special. And 56% of our surface is protected area. So you can imagine the responsibility we have towards nature, but this is really something very nice. At the beginning, years ago, the locals weren't so happy because when you have a protected area, there are many things you can't do. You can't build houses inside and so on. But nowadays, we found out that it's very important to have this protected area. So we take care of about 500 kilometers of trails. So you can imagine trails are very important for us because people come to the mountains, especially in summer for hiking, in winter for skiing. This is the main products for us. And what's not a nature park is the anthropogenic landscape, which is taken care by the locals. So if you come and visit us, you will see each square meter of landscape is clean. It's really something very special, and we are very thankful to everybody that everybody keeps the landscape clean. The second part, which is important to us, are the locals. The locals, in my point of view, are part of the luxury because first of all, we are a Ladin-speaking community. Ladin is a very old language, which is older than Spanish and Italian. It was once spoken in the Alps, in the whole Alps, and nowadays we are only 30,000 people speaking Ladin. So this is something very special. We try to keep our culture. We speak it in family. And since childhood, we learn it. We learn other languages. So we speak since childhood 4 languages. And why do we speak languages? Because we have tourism in our area. So everybody learns languages, and we are happy to know German, Italian, English, and Latin. The majority of the residents are the owner of the businesses. So we don't work for big companies which own a resort, but every company, every hotel and every bed and breakfast is owned by a family. And you can imagine the high responsibility we have to make everything work because they live from tourism. So for us, it's also very important to generate profit because we live from tourism. And not only we, also farmers live from tourism, and also the industry the handcrafters and so on. So we are also very lucky that we have a long-standing hospitality culture. So we are not new to tourism, but we are doing tourism already since 70, 80 years. And you can really feel that the locals accept the tourists in the area. Can you, the next one? So here is our road to the sustainable luxury tourism, how we see it. So the first important for us is the community. The community is the first reason why people come back to our area, because the kindness and the gentleness, the hospitality is the first reason people come to our area, but also to South Tyrol, which is a larger area. And in order to make that people stay kind, it's important that they are happy with tourists visiting. So for us, it's very important to take care also of locals' needs and to avoid over-tourism and over-traffic. This is also one of our big jobs, because we are so lucky that we have the problem to have too much tourism at certain times of the year. Not always, just let's say in August and maybe sometimes in winter. Then the environment, protecting the environment is already part of our culture. I think if you come and see it, you will understand it. It's difficult to explain, but it is like this. The last years, we found out that it's very important that we try to determine the offer. We should not allow the tourist to say, I come here and I want to go inside the nature park with the car, I want Coca-Cola on top of the mountains. No, we try to determine what is the offer. If you like the offer, you can come, otherwise you can go somewhere else. And I think this is very important, because only this way we can offer authentic experiences which are bound to our culture, to who we are, to what we are not. We aren't Coca-Cola. We have juices, we have good water. You can see that's a waterfall in our area. And also having drinkable water is a luxury nowadays, because too often we think, what is luxury? Luxury is very simple sometimes. Also to have water, to have fresh air, to have no war. I think we try to make people think during their stay. That will be the next slide. No, please go back. Sorry, I didn't finish. The profit, as I told already, it's very important to us to generate profit, because people live from profit. And as I told you, families live from this profit. And the sustainability, which we started not last year, but it was always part of our culture, but now we are better organized. We try to keep everything in balance, and engaging locals, visitors, businesses, and institutions take part of the sustainability. So next slide, please. Then I'm almost finished. Can you? So this is the last slide for me. This is a thought I made here in Sevilla one evening, sitting in my room. Tourism we see tourism as a philosophy of life, where people seek ways to heal body and soul. I will read it so we go faster. In a consumer-driven world, we are bombarded by advertising all day long and have to perform and constantly run. Industry creates the feeling we have and we are never enough. What else do we need when we are surrounded by a beautiful landscape and nice people? We need to remind our visitors of the true values in life. And this is what I really think, is that people need more and more, less and less. This is, I think it's one of the most important sentences which represent which represent our area. We need to teach our visitors what it means to relax, because many people forgot what it means really to relax. They come with their own stress and get stressed during their own stay in the area, and they have to run here and to the other place, and then they have to go skiing, and then they have to go to the sauna, and so on. And enjoy a stay by getting them to find sustainability first and foremost in their own mind. Too often we forget the sustainability in our own mind, because everything that is great is first created in our mind. And I think really that we need to reprogram our own visitors in some way. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I think what we'll do is we'll leave all the questions and comments after all the presentations. I think one of the takeaways from that is how the new luxury potentially is time, how people are looking to take back their time. Okay, the next is Daniele Nannetti, who's founder of Villa Petriolo. And this is a very interesting story. Basically, Daniele is one of the co-founders, and this is an old Italian village and farm which is being reconverted, rejuvenated, restored into becoming what Daniele is going to be describing.
I guess I'm the next. Should I go?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I guess the next presentation is Marta.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, go this way. Hi, everybody. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. So I'm Daniele Nannetti. I'm the founder and the CEO of this newborn project, which is a 16th century village considered monumental heritage by the Italian state, together with an organic farm of 170 hectares. Both are protected for the biodiversity and scenic beauty. The villa itself has a monumental heritage protection, and the landscape all around has a landscape protection. So what's the story? This is the title, because this project is based on the history and on the heritage of my ancestors. What's the story behind the story? So when we bought this place in 2018, so we had in mind a simple business plan, like to create, not simple, well, an organic business plan, but we found out, because the Italian state forced us to make an historian investigation, that there was an entire books made from the noble family who built this farm back in the 1500s. So I read it, their philosophy, their business plan, what they were doing back in time, and I found out that the historical heritage, the agriculture, the hospitality, let's say, and the cultural heritage were in balance altogether and create a contemporary, sustainable, circular, economical business plan. So the sustainability was in the DNA, in the DNA of the place itself. And so we decided to follow the leads of my ancestor, because just an information, for instance, when this villa was on construction, in the same years, 5 kilometers from this villa, a child named after Leonardo da Vinci was born. So you can imagine which are our ancestors, and so I thought that it was worth it to follow their leads. So what sustainability means for Villa Petriolo for us? So the sustainability is based on 3 pillars, and as Motti was saying before, so we strongly believe that sustainability is made with people, planet, and profit. So starting from people, so our project is 100% local or hyper-local, depends on how you wanna call it, project. So the social sustainability for us is taken three ways. One way is to have our own local staff. So all the staff which is working in our business units, because we have 4 business units in the villa. It's they all living and they are coming from the same area. So we have a rule, a golden rule, they can't live farthest than 50 miles. Then we have created a network that supports artisan and small producer, because even if we try to make everything in-house, we can't. Okay? So we do as much as we can in-house, like agriculture products, services. We are a little touristic destination. But we need also the helps of the artisans and the local suppliers, so other small farmers, small artisans. So we connected all together, and they are focusing on our needs. And then we support the local areas for their social and cultural activities, like folk festival and so on. Planet. Okay, I know this is not the focus in this very panel, but we have a closed loop water and waste management system, and a management system which has achieved its carbon neutrality. We have the carbon footprint certification and the water footprint certification. And last but not least, an agriculture management system based on regenerative agriculture. Profit. There are no sustainability if first there is no financial sustainability, because a sustainability without financial sustainability is greenwashing, just to be clear. So in 18 months, even we are at the 50% of our project, we have reached an EBITDA of 39%. So we are very proud of this award. And how we get that data. So the uniqueness of a combined offer of hospitality, food and beverage, and agriculture all together give a special value, highest value to the product we are selling. Then big investment in infrastructures will lead to significant energy and economic saving. First, I say that we are certified also for carbon footprint and water footprint. This help us to save a lot of money. Then a management based on the principle of non-waste and territorial supply. Sometimes when you buy local, you have the highest quality and less price. We should think about it. What luxury means to us? So luxury for us means that the non-reproducibility of a service or product, so being unique. I know it's different today being unique, but we should try. Well, in which way we try to be unique? So the uniqueness of Villa Petriolo consists in being 100% Tuscan project, local project. Either hospitality, FB, agriculture, connections. So we try to give the best from the local. Here, one example. If you think about it, you can, looking at the Tuscan hills, just there, where we are, and other place in Tuscany, of course, but you need to be there. Eating a pizza made from 100% organic ingredients produced in-house, produced from our farm, cooked from a local chef, born and raised there, and served from a local waiter, born and raised there. So this is the uniqueness, because it's all hyper-local. Or, for example, regarding room, so entering our suite, you find the entire spirit of Villa Petriolo, from local artisan craftsmanship to highly developed sustainable amenities, including a courtesy line made of our own organic raw material, has such honey, olive oil, and wild herbs. You know, it's all made in-house, even the furnitures. I mean, not for us, but with our network. So this is lead to the biggest question: what is sustainable luxury? Sustainable luxury is the harmony between the highest quality standard and the ethics of sustainability. Being sustainable for us in luxury does not mean giving up something. I mean, we are giving the same level, same high quality standard, but rather having the same level of comfort combined with highest ethic and outstanding product offer, because you can have a product which is luxury, and also you can have a product which is luxury, ethical, and sustainable. So which product is more valuable? That's exactly what I'm saying. A luxury product, a luxury sustainable product has more value than a luxury product which is not sustainable. Who values the sustainability, the sustainable luxury? You know, because you can either trust me or not, but I'm just a man speaking in front of you. So I need some other people that value my effort. So this certification for us are a validation mechanism of luxury and sustainability, so of a sustainable luxury. We are proud to be the first farm in the world to be certified as GSTC. Very proud, and thanks GSTC and thanks Vireo in Italy to have certified us with the GSTC certification. We are part of the considered collection of a small luxury hotel because we need to be evaluated as sustainable and at the same time as luxury, otherwise it's not sustainable luxury. So thanks, here there is Chloe, so thanks Chloe for representing a small luxury hotel of the world. In the FB, we have the Green Michelin Star and others certification that I don't want to make you boring about it. Okay, so this is our and your Villa Petriolo, an accommodation facility that loudly demonstrates that sustainable luxury is not only possible, but is the only future of luxury, because it has more valuable, has more value a sustainable product or service than just a luxury service. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I think one takeaway, one quick observation from that is, in terms of sustainability, the difference between local and local. Local doesn't mean, could mean the entire country, the region. Local in how that relates to that specific geographical regional destination. So next we have is Marta, who's the Regional Sustainability Director based at Six Senses in Ibiza. And the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Motti, for the introduction. I have to say I'm very grateful to be here representing my organization. And for today's very, very short presentation, I'm willing to give you some highlights on what is sustainable luxury for us and what it works right now for our organization in terms of criteria, internal criteria, and also management. So what is sustainable luxury for us? I think that if a few years ago, luxury was very related to quantity, nowadays is very much related to quality, right? And it's also very much related to this philosophy of less is more. And the truth is that we, as Six Senses, and as an organization, we actually see us very much connected to this philosophy itself. So first of all, to start explaining you how we deliver this sustainable luxury. We like to say that in today's world of very much disconnection and increasing working hours and also stress levels, people very much find it hard to gain some perspective in life, to make time for the things that really matters. And I'm sure most of you felt it already. So normally we say that it's only when experiencing something out of the ordinary that our intuition comes back and we feel ready to reconnect. And this is very much part of our vision, the vision we have, which is create places where people can reconnect. And for us, I would say, and in resume, that sustainable luxury is very much related to offering memorable and meaningful experiences to our visitors, together with a personalized high-level service. Together with this, we also want to demonstrate that wellness and sustainability, which are the two main pillars in our organization, are at the heart of everything we do. So no matter if our visitors are in the desert in Charlotte, or in the countryside in Douro Valley, or even on an island in Ibiza, or in the city center in Rome, we want them to feel that our DNA it's present across the whole portfolio. So there's a work behind on creating this consistency across all our properties. So how are we doing this? How are we, first of all, creating these places where people can reconnect, together with demonstrating and creating this consistency across our portfolio, and yet delivering these memorable experiences through community. So we want to create a sense of community across the whole Six Senses properties. And this begins with an intelligent approach that begins with empathy. And we very much believe that this is where our journey starts. Also through locality. So we want to be part of local fabric, local culture as well, but yet in turn the higher world. So if in one hand we want our properties to demonstrate our consistency in delivering our DNA in every property, we also want them to be very much connected with each location, together with each culture and traditions and recipes and ingredients. And then with love as well. So we want to be responsible and caring. And we truly believe that while applying all these values and vision, we can create an ambience of harmony where our guests can really reconnect. And this love and the caring that we are showing for our people and for our communities and neighbors starts very much from the beginning. So from the moment we choose a location where we build our property until the moment we have our property established and we start looking for our local suppliers. So as Motti was saying, we are focused on these three very famous pillars of people, planet, and profit. And what we are trying to do on our daily basis operation is to find a line where these three Ps are at the same level and we have the same effort with each of it. So obviously people, we are focusing on our local communities in so many levels, but as well as in our people that are working with us. And we truly think that this is key for many things we want to see happening in the future in our organization. And then planet, I think this is obvious, and I'll be giving a few highlights on this as well. And profit as well. I think on a weekly basis we have discussions of how we can implement initiatives that will give us profit. Because in the end of the day, we are not running charities, right? So we are running business, and we need our businesses to be profitable and sustainable as well. So how we show and create our commitment to sustainable luxury, and also how we sustain these currents between all our properties. First of all, we have a vice president of sustainability that sits at the executive committee in our home office in Bangkok. And then together with that, in every of our locations, we have a sustainability team focused on working 100% of the time towards sustainability. And also, we are following what we call our sustainability management framework. And this is what is helping us to create consistency and also measuring our impacts. So this is how it looks like. It seems very messy, but it's actually really simple. I just wanted to focus in two main things here. So the first one is the Sustainable Operational Guidelines, which are our internal criteria at Six Senses. And it has to do with a lot of things. First of all, it's related to every single department. So we have guidelines that are helping us to improve our daily operations in every single department. And we are measuring this impact on action plans. And then obviously, this is very important, our sustainability fund, which is very much related to guest experience as well. So in every Six Senses property, part of the revenue, which is 0.5%, is going to the sustainability fund. And in each different locations, we are supporting different organizations and projects, either on the social or wildlife side or environmental or cultural side as well. So you can imagine the impact all over the world that comes from this. There's two rules very important. So first one needs to be applied on the local community where we have our property, and it needs to be applied in one of these projects. So you can imagine the amount of projects that are supported wildlife. And one of the most fascinating things about this is part of guest experience. And this is part of the type of luxury we want to deliver to our guests as well. Another very cool initiative I wanted to share with you today, it's this very special place we have in every location as well that it's called Earth Lab. So most of the time is where our sustainability teams are working on to deliver experiences and activities to guests. And most of the times it can be just a workshop teaching our guests on how to do their own natural toothpaste, plastic-free and with natural ingredients. So you can imagine how fun it is and engaging as well. And this is the main goal of this area. Again, we deliver activities here. Normally it's where the garden production is treated as well at the Earth Lab. And then I'm almost finishing. So moving towards zero waste and using existing resources, we can focus on profit. So by growing our own vegetables, we can save a lot of money and even making a lot of money, because besides of not need to buy from another supplier, it also means one less supplier coming and bringing vegetables wrapped in plastic, etc., etc. The same with eggs, also with the bottles, and I could give you a few more examples, but unfortunately I don't have time for that. Just wanted to finish by saying that this is only happening, so the service we want to deliver to our guests and this high-level standard of sustainable luxury we want to deliver, it really depends on everyone. So I would say that one of the key things that makes this type of management work in our organization is, first of all, educate our hosts. So they are trained from the beginning, not just so they can do their daily work in the right way, but so they can apply the same things on their personal lives. I would say the second one, involve your communities. They want to be part of your projects, so involve them. I'm sure they will be happy and they will share the common goals. And then the third one would be share and communicate a lot with your guests and with everyone. And I think these are the key initiatives that we have in place that makes our whole organization work and put in practice all our vision and values as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that was just another example of how luxury is being defined more by a unique, authentic, local, natural experience versus the amount of actual stars that you have. Okay, I guess we can now move on to questions and comments. And I'm not sure if we're going to do it via the Slido or just raising your hands. I don't know. I think we should be able to see it here. Okay, so Daniele, what is the target that really appreciates your efforts in sustainability? So I guess the question is who's the key target market that really, and in fact I would address that to the whole panel, because the big question is there a consumer out there, is there a traveler out there that even cares about any of this? So maybe you can answer, then maybe answer the question part from the destination angle and then from Six Senses angle.
Thank you, Motti. So what is the target that really appreciate your effort in sustainability? Actually is the people that are educated in a way to respect their life, to respect their health, to respect the planet, and to respect the local community. I mean, when you travel, educated travelers, let's say, educated travelers. That not means rich, just educated.
The target for the, you mean for the tourists? The target market. Okay, the target market in our area is especially people who love nature, who love hiking activities, sport activities, biking, and so on, in summer and in winter, in our case.
Well, speaking as an organization, I would say we have all types of guests, right? So the ones that are repeaters and are visiting our properties because they know we are somehow committed to something special and they feel they will have a meaningful stay by being with us. But in the other hand, we also have these curious guests that are coming for the first time, learning what we are doing, different from the other hotel brands. But overall, a bit of all types of guests, yeah.
I guess my follow-up question to that question is, are any of you able to show that you can generate a higher average daily rate, whether it be at the destination level or the property level? In other words, if you're reaching the target consumer that's looking for what you're offering, are you able to take a higher rate because of the fact that you're promoting sustainable luxury?
Well, we are on a path of being more sustainable, more local, and more luxury. So this is a path. It's not something that you can create in a couple of months. So it's the balance between sustainability, high-level standards, and social sustainability gives a lot of values to the products, which means agricultural products in our case, or service. So we are slowly increasing our revenue because we are slowly increase our effort in the three pillars and in the level of service. So we are not. So we are a project that look to the future. So it's, we are on a path of an increasing level and also increasing revenues.
In some way, we have always been sustainable. So as I told before, it's part of our culture already. And it's not, the reason we are and try to be sustainable is not to sell it, because we have to be sustainable anyways, and everybody has to become sustainable. So we really don't we don't advertise it in order to get more people, but in order to really try to explain people how it's better to deal with ourselves and the world.
I actually agree with what was said. In my perspective, I mean, there's no life in my organization before the commitment to sustainability, because it's been like this since forever, and I'm talking about the early 90s. So I would say yes, and very often I get the question that is, how can you afford it? And I think the question right now should be, how can we not afford it, right? Because if we go and see the last reports and surveys on sustainable travel, that's the demand. So how can we not afford it?
So I guess, Carlo, that answers the question also, is what was the main reason to become certified? I guess based on your answer, you're saying it was just part of who you are and what you are. There's a question there from, the entire population is dependent on tourism, but with the vagaries of tourism being seasonal, how the economy have income generation and livelihoods at all time? In other words, I guess if you have seasonal tourism, how can you ensure that the local population can afford to live outside the high season of travel and tourism?
In our area, for example, we have the summer season, the winter season, and the summer season we try to make it long enough, like the end of October. And we also need 1 month of relax. So the locals also need in spring and in August 1 month to be part of the family and to enjoy, to relax, because our seasons, as soon as they start, they are very heavy, and the locals work very hard, even till 15 hours a day. So you can imagine after you work hard, it's also good to have 1 month of off, or sometimes 2 months. So, but I think this is not a problem in our area. It is like this, and we hope that that we can get more people in fall, in autumn. This is one, and a little bit less in the summer season when we have too many people. So we try already. We try to set up programs to move or try to move some people from August to September, October, which are even better moments where the landscape is really amazing and there are less people there. The quality is double as much as it is in the high season.
We are not seasonal, so this is the answer.
Yeah, same for us. I don't think we have any property that is seasonal.
Daniele, what is your plan to tackle the risk of drought in the upcoming years, considering the remote location of your property?
Well, it's relative. We are not, I mean, if you pointed on Google Maps, we are 35 kilometers from Florence. I mean, some quarters in New York are, farthest than 35 kilometers from the down, from the center of the city. So actually, no, we are not far. We are lucky because seems that we are in the middle of nowhere, but actually we are close to everything, and we have a very let's say big community around, because in a radius of 20 miles is living more than 300,000 people. So it's not that that's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we are in a good position. Actually, it's one of the reasons why we choose that property to buy.
Carlo, do you have an example of sustainable hotel in the destination? Are they engaged with a sustainability strategy? I guess that question comes from, if you are GSTC certified as a destination, to what degree and how are you engaging the local hotels and other accommodation providers and everybody else to potentially they become also GSTC or whatever certified?
Yes, I think we were the first destination which started together the certification path of the destination and a few hotels. So it's not easy to enroll people in this path. So we have nowadays out of 250 hotels, we have only 3, but it's already a number. We are happy to have them. We have a 5 stars hotel, and we also have small bed and breakfast. So, but we are working very hard to that the next years maybe somebody else goes this way. But again, I tell you, even if certain accommodations are not certified, they already work in that direction. They are already sustainable in many ways. It's just people don't like the idea of dealing with paperwork and so on, because you have imagined these are family companies, and you have the families, and sometimes you have another work, and then you have also your bed and breakfast. So dealing with paperwork is not easy because you have to do it yourself, and so they are a little bit shy on entering this idea of the certification. This is the main reason, I think, that it's difficult to get people to certify. But everybody likes the idea of sustainability in our town.
This is an interesting one. Do you communicate to your visitors or guests that you're GSTC certified, and or do you include the words sustainable or responsible or whatever luxury in your PR and marketing and communications?
Yes, we try to enroll the people who are visiting us by giving them the information how they should behave when they come in our area. And I can tell you that the visitors mostly behave well. But we have the other problem is the locals. The locals also have to behave, so we have to do the same with the locals, and we try to give them information about a private property, because about how to take care of the pets, how the dogs, the problem of the dogs, but I can tell you it's not so bad, because I think people behave quite well when they are in a paradise, in a beautiful place like the Dolomites. You don't really act badly.
Yes, for sure we communicate to our visitors that we are GST certified. Actually, we use the certification as a marketing strategy, because certification leads to not just the certification itself, but also to be part of other system or other companies. In our case, without the GSTC certification, we couldn't make it to be part of the considered collection of small luxury hotel. So certifications for us and co-branding are very important.
Well, right now we only have one property that it's going to be soon GSTC certified. But next year, for 2023, we are encouraging all the other properties to save some budget for it, just because the criteria of GSTC is very much similar to the guidelines and criteria we have internally. And it will give us more credibility. It's not the motivation to do what we do already. In terms of using the term sustainable luxury, actually it's not something that we actually do. So I don't think we like to be seen as a luxury organization. I think we like to be seen as a responsible and caring organization, yeah, that delivers high-level service.
Maybe I'll just add in something else as well here, is in relation to the context of the certification, the vast majority of sustainable tourism certification programs are B2B, not B2C. So when you're marketing them to the consumer isn't aware of any of these certification programs, including GSTC. So it's more about, as you've seen here, not promoting only the certification that you have, but more about your story and the story behind the story, because that's what the guests and the customers and the travelers are looking for. Daniele and Paolo, how do you expose your efforts in your sustainable development in order to make it easy to make choices for the responsible traveler? I will get just for the traveler.
Well, how we explain to the tourists our efforts, right? Is this the question? Yes. Especially, we try to inform people when they are in the area, but not only we, but also every hotel tries to do the same. We are still working on this because we are 1 year now certified, and we realized from that moment what we are, and also the idea of the luxury is quite new to me. It first came in my mind when Randy Durban visited us, and he told me one evening, but Carlo, do you know that you offer luxury tourism already? And I didn't know exactly what he meant by luxury tourism. And then I found out this idea of that luxury is not given by diamonds and gold and beautiful hotels, but what is around. And the setup of our destination is really very well organized for what is behind. The hotels also, we have good quality hotels as well. And the message is given by the way we work. It's not really, we don't give it on paper, and we don't write a lot about this, but it's really in the air. I think if somebody visits the area, he understands that it is really in the air.
Actually, the biggest effort was not to transmit sustainability, was to building the place, because actually our guests touch with their hands what's sustainability every day. You know, every moment they stay in the place, from from the agriculture side to try the agriculture goods in the restaurant, because they just look out of the windows and they see the animals, and they can have they can swim in the heated pool, but heated with the solar energy. You know, it's the biggest effort was actually building the place, you know, and our effort and the certification comes to certified this effort, you know. So the biggest communication inside was just we leave the guests, you know, roaming around the property and see themselves what we are doing.
So there's a question there which I'm going to make fine-tune it. how do we make sure that sustainability isn't just seen as being exclusive to the luxury sector, but becomes as business as usual for all? I guess the question to all three of you, it's not about just sustainability, but does the concept of sustainable luxury apply only to the luxury sector? And Carlo, in my conversation with you earlier, you were talking about where you are has a dark sky. And for those who aren't aware, there's an international initiative of creating dark sky national parks. Now that for me is an example of a million star destination. So I guess the question to all of you is, do you think that sustainable luxury and the concept of it is only meant for the luxury sector, or is luxury defined more by the experience, no matter what sector you're in, no matter what level that you're at, whether you camping or staying in a Six Senses or yours or whatever. But at can sustainable luxury be defined and looked at as something inclusive at all levels from the bottom up?
Well, in my perspective, absolutely right. So I would say it's all about experiences. And when we were talking in the very beginning, you were asking us, are you selling rooms or experiences, right? So definitely, yes.
Yes, for me, yes, for the same reason Marta says, and no from one other point of view, because it's not about luxury or not. It's just to give the right value to a product, because you can't compare a product, whichever this is, like a meal in a restaurant or just a bottle of wine or a room in a hotel, with the effort we make, to make it sustainable, compared to another same project that is not sustainable at all, So the inner value of this product is higher. Then you can tell this is luxury or not, but the inner value is different. I'm sure of this.
In our destination, you can really also stay in a cheap apartment and still have a luxury tourism. You don't really need to spend a lot of money because the luxury is outside in nature and everybody can go in the nature for free. So nature, which is one of the most important products, touristic products, is for free. As well, gentleness is also for free. So I mean, this is my answer to this question. You don't really need to spend a lot of money in our destination to have a luxury tourism.
I guess maybe one of the final questions. Congrats, Daniele. You mentioned a big investment was required to create Villa Petriolo. Was the project entitled to get in European funds to develop it? I guess I would add the question also is, are you able to show, I guess, two types of return on investment and return on values?
Well, I can say that I was very lucky because in the moment I started to think about the project, I say, okay, I need to go crowdfunding, and a friend of mine, he decided to invest, and he's the business angel. Actually, he's a well-known businessman from Mexico named Quadra. So the whole project is on his shoulder. So I was very, very lucky. So this is because it's not that simple to get European funds to develop. At least, I mean, I didn't have to looking for. So this is, I don't know, it's not so beautiful to say, but this is it.
And the final question to all three of you: does luxury start from the transportation to and from the destination? And how do you facilitate this for your clients? So in other words, the whole experience for the guest when they're coming to the destination or your accommodation, where and how does the experience start before they arrive and after they leave?
Well, I would say in my organization, the journey starts on the moment they book with us. Because from that moment, they start receiving tips from our side on how to organize their journey for the experience we want to deliver to them. And this starts, for example, with packing tips, encouraging to not bring any types of plastic to our properties because we have a plastic-free initiative in place, and so on and so on. So it definitely starts way before transportation to the property itself.
Yes, I agree. The luxury, I mean, start with the expectations, because when people come to our place, they have expectations, you know. So it's what we should do, in my opinion, is to, you know, encourage this expectation and try to create on one side a wow factor, which is difficult because if we are doing good about marketing, so this is it's more difficult to realize. And on the other side is to give to our guests something to think about when they are, but better, you know, and this is more important when they go back home. If this is about experience, this is the real experience tourism, you know, when you can transmit something that is in your way to be, in your philosophy, or when you teach something to the guest, and the guests then they are very happy, you know, to learn something different, and that's the reason why they come back.
The way we do tourism in South Tyrol and also in my area is already like a trademark. So it's already very known, let's say in Germany, Italy, Austria, but not only. Recently, through the Dolomites UNESCO, it's known worldwide. So I think that for many people, the experience starts already in the moment they book, the same as Sixth Sense told. It's the same moment, and when they are here and they come back or send other friends to our destination, then it means that we made a good job. I think this is for me, and maybe the question was also about the transportation, the physical transportation, when it begins physically. What is very special in our area, as soon as the guest comes, we give them a free ticket for the whole stay. They can use all the public transportation. This is something very special, and it helps a lot because a big part of the tourists use the public transportation instead of using the car. Maybe also from this point of view, it is something very special.
Okay, so maybe just to summarize a couple of takeaways which I've picked up from this, and in no order priority. Sustainable luxury, it's not something exclusive, it's something inclusive. It's not just something targeting the top end of the market, it relates to every single element of travel and tourism, no matter what target consumer you're going after. The second is that less is more. Which means that the next evolution of travel and tourism, especially in the context of post-COVID and over-tourism, is something called slow travel and slow hospitality. And what the slow means is that being in the moment, being in the present, embracing localism, authenticity, naturalness, uniqueness. That, I think, is the next evolution of what true, what I would call slow luxury, not as being the new sustainable luxury. And the final is that, to a certain degree, luxury is a mindset. It's what makes you feel good, is what you will define as luxury. And what is the cost to that? It's up to you to decide. And that's it.